Welcome back for another video. In today's video we'll be looking at everything you need to know for Gameweek 32. The Roundup is a series on this channel that arms you with useful information to take into each game week to arrive at better decisions. This includes the top players for predicted points, the bookies odds, transfer trends and more. We'll start with the Goalscorer Odds, which are always based on the assumption that a player starts, and this is sometimes not the case. It's Ronaldo who's top for the Everton game this Saturday. He missed Man United's 1-1 draw against Leicester with illness, but he's been seen back in training this week. The temptation with Ronaldo is that he does double in Gameweek 33, which will make him one of the standout captains for that week. However, for most managers, the best route to Ronaldo is selling Kane, Son or Salah, but all three appear among the top goal scorer odds this game week and likely next. Kane has a 38% chance for the away trip to Aston Villa. He's been in top form recently, getting returns in 8 of his last 9 games. Over those 9 games, he has 7 goals and 5 assists at a rate of over 1 attacking return per game. Son is also in breathtaking form and another captaincy candidate. At the end of the video we'll take a look at how the Captaincy Poll results are shaping up this week. Tony is third with a 34% chance, and if you're looking for a 1 week punt before free hitting in 33 and then wildcarding in 34, then he or Iheanacho look like great punts. Iheanacho has come into our thinking with Rodgers saying in his press conference that Vardy has no timeline on his return currently and he feels pain when striking the ball in training. The concern there is that Leicester may prioritise the Europa Conference League, which could cause rotation with Daka. Man City and Liverpool face off for a huge 6-point match this weekend. Salah has 4 goals and an assist in his last 5 games against City, and he has a 30.5% chance of scoring. Onto the clean sheet odds, and for the first time in a long time, Arsenal are top with a 45% chance of a clean sheet. They host Brighton, who have a single point from their last 5 games played, which is the joint worst with Norwich. Tierney could be a huge miss, and Tavares struggled before getting substituted early last game. Partey's also reportedly picked up an injury which could sideline him. Chelsea, Man United and Newcastle are all tied with a 37.5% chance of a clean sheet. Reece James was rested in Gameweek 31, and then both him and Azpilicueta played in the Champions League this week. Hopefully an indication for those looking at him already own him that he'll be back in the starting 11 for the Southampton game. It's tricky to identify which Leicester defenders to consider, but Castagne and Justin look the best if you want to go there, but they could get a rest here and there. That said, for the remainder of the season we've got the likes of Trent, Robertson, Cancelo, James, Rudiger and Doherty, who are probably the best ones to choose from, and a back 5 might even be viable. Burnley have a 31.5% chance of a clean sheet, and they're another side who doubled in Gameweek 33, so if you need a budget defender, perhaps a Burnley defender such as Taylor or Roberts. Aston Villa have a 23.5% chance of shutting the Spurs out, so if you've still got cash or Dino, it might be time to sell. And most managers will be back in Spurs to score against them. Rock bottom this week is Brighton, who've been given a 17% chance of shutting Arsenal out, and over the last 4 games played, they're 5th worst in the league for XGC. Everton and Liverpool are next with a 19% chance against Man United and Man City respectively. Onto the predicted points, and Kane is narrowly top with 5.3 predicted points this game week. He's trailed closely by Rafinha on 5.2, and you imagine for many managers it could be Rafinha's last game week in their team this season. He looks an easy sell in Gameweek 33 if there's an opportunity to pick up a double Gameweek midfielder while Rafinha blanks. Son and Salah are also captaincy shouts and they make the top 10. If Arsenal can bounce back from their disappointing defeat last game week, it could be a fruitful game for Lacazette and Saka, and they're both top picks for the rest of the season. If you don't have Salah, there's certainly a temptation to skip him entirely for the next 2 and consider Fernandes, who is among the highest predicted points this week and expected to be top in double Gameweek 33. Zaha has quietly emerged as a differential, less than 5% owned, and he has 10 goals this season. He's 5th among all midfielders for expected goal involvement over the last 4 after Havertz, Sterling, Salah and Bruno. All of Crystal Palace's remaining opponents for the rest of the season are in the bottom half for expected goals conceded this season, barring Aston Villa who are 8th. Barnes narrowly makes the top 10, he might be the more sensible pick due to having the extra fixture in 33. If you found this video useful so far, please consider liking it to support the channel. Onto the most transfer players, and Maddison's top with over 100,000 picking him up. He's the top scoring Leicester player this season with 124 points, and he has been better form recently than Barnes, so there's not much to separate them in terms of underlying numbers. Bowen is back into our thinking after getting a goal and an assist in his return from injury last week. They still have to face Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City and they have Europa League, so he looks like an avoid. Tottenham have 4 excellent fixtures ahead before a double game week 36, so no surprises to see Doherty, Son and Kane heavily transferred in. If you're brave enough to bet against Salah, we've talked on past videos how De Bruyne or Fernandes could be the ones to bet on. After this game, Man City have the best run of fixtures for the remainder of the season, and with the title race still in the balance, City can't afford to take their foot off the pedal. They may even be aiming to increase their goal difference, requiring some high scoring games over those fixtures. Foden and Sterling also look like excellent picks if you can find a way to squeeze them in. It's inevitable that we see a bunch of double-digit hauls from the City mids. On to the most transferred out, and Coutinho is the most sold this week. There's plenty of options who double in 33, while Aston Villa blank, such as Saka, Barnes and Maddison. Tierney is second, who's out for the remainder of the season with injury, so he needs to be a priority for selling. Salah's returns have dropped off recently, however he's still third among all midfielders for expected goal involvement over the last 4 game weeks. Jimenez is still suspended and only blanks in Gameweek 33, so he's another easy sell if you've got him. However, there's not a clear replacement at a similar price point. Iheanacho could be a great differential, while Weghorst bitterly disappointed in double Gameweek 31. Lacazette for slightly more could be the best of the bunch, and he's on penalty duties. We'll finish the roundup as always with the Captaincy Poll results. Thanks to everyone who voted on the poll on our Discord. If you'd like to join, a link's in the description. The results are in and they are as follows. Kane leads the poll with 56.8% of your vote, followed by Son with 24.9%. Over the last 6 game weeks, Kane and Son are first and second among all players for FPL points with 70 and 60 respectively. We've discussed how Salah's record isn't bad against Man City, and they'll be desperate to put on a good performance after a difficult few weeks. Elsewhere, a few votes for Saka, De Bruyne and James. Despite Ronaldo topping the Goalscorer Odds, just 0.3% have backed him. Thanks for watching this Game Week's episode of the Roundup. If you found it useful, please hit like to support the channel and hit subscribe if you're new. I read every comment, so as always I'm keen to hear your thoughts. See you soon for the next one.